Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? It's me, Paddy from across the shuck, and it's my good friend Judd and my other good friend Mikey, and you're very welcome to the Paddy and Pals podcast.
Bye, you lads.
Yes, so what we're going to talk about tonight.
Hang on, wait. Can somebody wake up Sawyer? Can somebody wake him up? He's asleep. He's falling asleep. Apparently, he's making some kind of subtle comment in his usual insidious way on our tardiness.
Tardiness, par d'excellence.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So we're going to be talking all things case knives tonight, and we've each picked 3 knives that we're going to talk about. See what you think of. Is it a pattern you like? Whatever. And we've got a right good mixture here of case knives to choose from. The other thing is
Nice
news.
Mikey was with us that time.
He was very nearly.
He's getting there. He's getting
Yeah,
there.
he's
There's
getting there.
still room for improvement.
Yes.
Must try harder, Mikey.
Yeah. B minus.
That's an improvement.
Anyway, knife news. I'm going to start with our own knife news tonight because it is very exciting knife news. And it's knife news that I know a lot of you have been waiting to get an answer for. And we are now at the point where we can give you an answer. The Paddy and Pals club knife is now a goer full and proper. Look at the state of my nails. I was working cleaning knives. No, I never even bothered cleaning them.
back to knife news. Knife news.
Don't be distracted.
Dirty boy.
Don't be distracted. Come on.
Yes, the Paddy and Pals knife is now a complete goer. We have ordered our Michael is in the process of ordering our stamp. So the only stamp on it is going to be our stamp. It's going to be a shamrock with PPP in each of the 3 leaves. And the knife that we've chosen for the first one is, and I've chosen this, or we have chosen this. If I say I mean we, because I do tend to do that.
Stephen, show the bloody knife.
Show the bloody knife. Show the bloody knife. That is the bloody knife. It's a tackler. Now, the difference between ours is instead of this stamp, we will have the shamrock with a PPP in it, stamped. It's costing us about £200 to get the stamp made. So there you go.
Say it again, Steve. Say it again.
It's costing about £200.
No, not that. Stamped. It's going to be
it's
stamped.
going to be stamped.
Stamped, unlike certain knives that are lasered.
Lasered. So
yeah, none of that.
This is I just want to talk about this knife. Now, I'm going to give you the price that this knife is going to be. It is £40, and it is only £5 more than what you can get on Heine Haynes, and a couple of pounds less in other outlets. But we done this because we are not very intelligent people, and the financial side of it is quite important that we get everything right.
Now, if you're the kind of person that wants to save £5, by all means, go
£5,
on.
5p.
£5.
No, 5p.
5p.
You said £5.
You said £5.
I lied.
If you're the kind of person who wants to save, so it's $39.95.
It's $39.95 on Heine.
If you're the kind of person that wants to save 5p,
wait, because
by
there's
all
more.
means.
Wait, because there's more.
All right, then I'll shut up now.
Heine Haynes.
You stole my thunder.
Yeah, but this
I
is
was going to bully them.
but this
You
is
ever seen a small fella bully people?
But this
It's hilarious. Mikey,
Did-
can you take over here because he's losing himself?
This is the knife you're going to get. The difference between that, I say, you're going to have a stamped bolster, and you're going to have these beautiful green liners.
Oh,
Not the back spacer, but these beautiful green liners that are going to be on the knife.
yeah,
that's-
our trademark.
Our trademark. And they're going to be, the green liners are going to be in every model. Each model will have a different handle material for a certain point until we run out of the ones that we want, and then we might have to double back. Or if a knife looks like it would be better in a certain one, we'll certainly do that. But this is a knife. Now, this is a £40 handmade knife made in the United Kingdom by hand.
Sheffield. United Kingdom of Sheffield.
By hand. I'm going to show you mine because this is what I just bought off the top. This is not a special one. It's one I bought. There it is. Now, is it perfect? No, there's a couple of wee gaps. Does it affect the action? Let me see if it'll tell you. Here we go.
Half stop, people.
Half stop. This is an amazing work knife. This is as solid a knife as you're ever going to get. There's no movement in that blade. But this is, sometimes the bevel mightn't be the same on both sides, because these are rush knives. These are knives that are made to a budget and they haven't got the time to finesse them. So if it's a bit off center, mine's off center. Mine's off center more than probably most, but it's not touching. Again, it's just perfect as a work knife. That's what these are. And these are amazing, amazing quality. This blade shape on the tackler is somewhere between a Wharncliffe and a sheepsfoot, and it's in between the two. I just think it's perfect. I've been carrying this lots of times. So that's the knife you're going to get, and you're going to get it for £40 plus postage. We can't afford to take the postage out of what we're doing. So the postage is going to be
£3.
£3, and that's for
UK.
Are tracked. If we're sending to Europe and America, it will be
we will
work that out on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, we will try to get rough prices for that before it goes live, and we'll give you a rough price if you're in America or Europe or wherever else you are in the world. But the postage is on you. So that's what you're going to get. I hope you are excited to get it, as we are just delighted to have this on our wee podcast. It's not going to be open just to podcasters, but let me tell you that I have something that's going to follow up on the second one that will be very advantageous if you're a podcast follower. And there'll be a way to get ahead of the others, because I haven't talked to the boys about this. But for anybody who wants to get ahead, there will be a reason. It's a bit of a selfish reason, but it's my reason. I'll tell you later when we're doing the I haven't told them yet. Yeah, you can't tell. I can't tell him everything.
Is he hijack? Is he
no.
Is that doing his own thing again?
No, absolutely not. Moi, little old pitchy. No.
Mark wants to know: do you need the money up front? So talk to us about money, Steve.
Okay, money. The only way money can go is through PayPal. We're not doing anything else. I'm sorry if you haven't got PayPal. Find one of your children, take their pocket money, and send it to us. So it's going to be PayPal, friends and family, and it's £40 plus your postage. So if you're here in the UK, that will be £43, which is cheaper than what you can get it delivered from Heine.
Yeah, that's right. Actually.
Or any other outlet.
That's right.
There you go. So that's it. And it's a couple of pence more than what the postage is, but that's going to cover us for
details.
Envelopes,
in terms of when, Stephen, when are we going to be looking?
We're going to be opening up. And let me honestly, this is money up front. That's the only way you're going to get it. We can't wait to the end of the month. We can't give any credit, because credit is just a punch in the nose in my books. So it's going to be, well, hopefully not hopefully, before the 2nd of February, I'm hoping we will have a knife that we can show you the finished article, and I'll show it on my channel. Mikey will show it on Instagram on Shorts or whatever, and Justin will do it on Instagram. So we'll get it out there before you actually do it. So it's going to be £43 if you're in the UK. In the States, we'll work that out for you. I'll let you know within the next couple of days a rough estimate of what it's going to be. Isn't that it?
Yep,
that's it covered.
People want to know when they need to pay, but it's not yet, is it?
No,
it's the 2nd of February they start paying.
Yeah. So basically what we'll do is we'll throw the door open for to take orders from the 2nd of February on. That'll help us gauge what the demand is. So we'll accept money and take an order up front, as Mark says, and that'll sit in my Swiss bank account, accruing a horrendous amount of interest until we're ready to pay.
We've actually set up a separate account. Justin sorted that out. So if the money goes missing, Justin, I've got his address and a recent naked picture of him.
But yeah, so from February on, we'll be accepting payments, and we'll be taking that as your knife bought. Now, the thing that we were talking about earlier, when you buy the knife, you buy the knife. The only thing that's going to stop you getting the knife is if some disaster happens and the whole production thing falls through. And that's never going to happen. No. But what we don't want, and you're going to have to forgive us on this.
Yeah, because just till we get started, or maybe we'll see in the future.
We're not either a knife producer or a knife shop or whatever else. If you buy a knife, you bought the knife. No take backsies, no refunds. If you want to move the knife on to somebody else, we can probably help you with that. But if you bought the knife and you paid your money, you'll get the knife.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying to show you the knives. There might be slight. This is a handmade, made at speed to keep the price down to this level that we can buy it and then resell it on. So once you bought it, as Justin says, that's it. If you want to sell it to somebody else or get somebody else, that's no problem. If we have somebody else at the end who didn't get one and wanted one, we'll link you up so that that's not going to hurt you too much. So there you go.
And don't worry. I mean, we're hoping that will sell. We'll sell. I mean, this is going to be a limited run. We're hoping that we'll sell all of them. But I mean, that's our hope.
And it's not a huge run, I must add. It's not.
But and if it works, if we can make it a success, we will be doing it again.
Yeah.
With a different knife. Or I mean, look, the same knife might come around again, but by and large, we're hoping that it's a success, so we can do it on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, we've got plenty of patterns in Arthur Wright that will cover.
See, the trouble is that I have to keep a handle on these two guys' enthusiasm, because Stephen doesn't have anything else to do, because he's a retiree, and he's so excited about this. It's unbelievable. Mikey, every time he goes up to Arthur Wright's, which is pretty much every day because he sleeps there, I think, he just gets Michael, persuading him to buy more knives anyway. So I'm the only beacon of common sense amongst these two.
God help us.
That's right.
God help us. So that's so exciting for me. I've been on YouTube nearly 8 years when this comes out, and I am absolutely just overjoyed. And the nicest thing of it all, which is what YouTube's all about, I'm getting to share this with two friends rather than just me on Paddy's channel. This is sharing it with two friends, which means everything. It's everything. It's not just a one and done. It's us three that have sort of dreamt it up.
Yeah, it's actually there. Dave has got a good question. Is it a limited order?
No, you can get as many as you like.
Get as many as you want.
It's extremely limited.
Yeah, what we've done, we've ordered a limited amount because we can't afford. We have to pay cash up front for these knives before we get them. So that's why we're doing it like this. It has to be paid cash up front. I'm not being out of pocket for it. I want you to have them. Absolutely.
However, here's a wee thing. If you do buy 20 of them, we don't want to see them on the knife forums at twice the price.
Yeah,
trying to sell them on. Not that you would do that, my man. And I'm not saying that.
Yeah, because, and this is the other thing, I suppose, that
this is for you guys. So I mean, by all means, if you, I saw you. Midnight Crisis mentioned he wanted 6 earlier on. I don't know if he was joking or not. But by all means, if you want a couple or if you want a few. No, that's not going to be a problem.
And if you do want that, get in soon, because it is a limited order we've got. It might increase in the future. We just don't know. This is our first go at it, so bear with us. What we do, the knives will be coming out to you the end of March, beginning of April. That's when the knives will come out. I'm sorry there is that wait, but we need to get the numbers in, and we need to get the money to the makers and get them paid, and that's it. We just want to keep it as level, and that's why we'll maybe the postage is rounded up a couple of pence, but it's them things we want to do to keep it completely simple for us and for the maker.
Who's the simpler the better for us.
Yeah, the maker, I have to say, has gone out of his way to.
David, all I would say is that there is only one caveat on buying a knife. You have to be subscribed. So if you want one for your son and daughter-in-law, they have to subscribe to the channel. I'm sorry, but them's the rules.
Was that in the rules?
Somehow,
yeah.
Was that in the rules? Was it? Okay.
I've just introduced it.
He's now taking over, Paddy. It's the rules. No, it's not the rules if you're buying for family. You just have to be a member of the channel if you're buying.
It's happened quicker than I expected.
So just to make it clear for people, because I'm reading out the chat, no one's listening. Egypt, right? We will be taking orders from the 2nd of February, and you pay when you order. You will be paying us through PayPal. Once we've got our new PayPal account set up for Judd's Swiss bank account, okay? So from the 2nd of February, we will then be taking orders.
Yeah, the next one will be for a camper van.
Yeah.
And we'll do it from abroad. This is going to be very successful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll come on my bike down to the post office. Anyway,
Mr. Steve, how many made? We're not 100% sure.
We've got to wait for the orders to come in first.
Yeah,
We've got to wait for the orders.
Demand first.
He is going to be starting making them before that date, but he's going to be doing so many each week. He's going to, because this was a late order, if you like. Although we've been working for it, we didn't have the dates until yesterday. So he will do so many a week and put them away for us. So the more we get in earlier, the better. So it's from the 2nd of February. Get them in. Once we get to that end period, we'll see what happens. If Michael can get them done, he'll get them done.
So Tony, I think it's more like a prick between two roses, to be honest. But there you go.
Who's the rose?
Well, I mean, I'm sitting in the middle. You're always the rose,
Yeah.
Stephen, my little petal.
Yeah. I'll gum you to that.
Oh, no.
Right.
Yes, and yes, this is the UK, US as well. So if you're in the States, you can order one, but you will be paying the postage.
Yeah, and we'll find out the cheapest way we can get it sent to you, and that's the deal on that. And we'll let you know. But we'll find out a price you have to pay up front. If it's going to be a couple of dollars more in the real time, we'll just send you a wee text. You need to put in so much.
Mark would just like to confirm with you that you are actually buying a knife and not a power bank.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Profit's profit.
But yeah, look,
I don't think there'll be any profit for power banks.
I hope you are excited as we are. I mean, I am absolutely over the moon. It means such a big thing. I never thought we would have a knife with our own stamp.
Yeah.
Stamp, not etched.
PPP. Paddy's potato power banks.
Mr. Steve, don't worry. Nobody knows what the PayPal details are because it's a closely guarded secret. We'll be releasing those details in a couple of weeks.
And we'll try to get as many of the rules down underneath. When the day we release it, we'll have it down in the description. All the things that you'll need to know. So don't worry about it tonight. Just remember, when it comes to payday at the end of this month, put £43 away. Put £43 away at the end of the month and keep it until the 2nd. It's only 2 days you got to keep it for, till the 2nd, and then fire the money in straight away. Please get in. Paddy's Pals, small parcel to USA mainland, $7.40. Well, yeah, it could be. If we can get it, because we're going to send them out in padded envelopes, so that'll probably be a bit cheaper. But we'll see. We'll let you know. We're not into.
I think that's pretty much what he's talking about.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Right. That is what he's talking about. Yeah.
Oh, right. Super. Sorry. Well, then that's $7.40. That's a great start. If it's any more, we'll email you with a difference.
Cool. And that's our knife news. Unless anybody else has any other knife news, Mike.
How can we top that knife news? That is the best knife news that we've ever done.
This is very, very true.
What was that last one?
Nothing.
What?
Kathleen, stop encouraging him. Stop encouraging him.
Oh, blooming heck!
Everybody
got a power bank, but me. Even my wife's laughing at me now.
Now, before we leave knife news, I would like to make one further announcement, and it's on behalf of our late and bestest pal, Randy.
Oh gosh, yes.
So please, this is from Matt. If you haven't already entered the raffle, please get in and do it before the end of the show. And
it's only £10 per entry, and there's 19, I believe. Is that right, Mikey?
19.
Yeah. It's a £10 or $13. Yeah.
£10, $13, and that gets you an entry in, and there's 19 prizes.
Yeah.
That is flipping amazing. And there's no bad prizes.
I think there's 20 now.
Oh God! And there's no bad prizes, is there? There's none that are bad.
There's probably more knives than there are people actually buying tickets.
Yeah, probably. But I think that's just amazing. So thank you to everybody who's been in so far. But don't stop. This is the last little bit. It'll finish completely on the 19th, where the draw will be taking place.
It finishes. Yeah, It finishes on Sunday morning. The draw takes place Sunday afternoon live on the S&T show.
That starts at 6 o'clock UK time.
And what
It doesn't do.
Different times throughout the states.
Yeah,
they should be in the right time anyway.
So if you're in the US, get in. Double check the times for the US or other places around the world if you want. But yeah, definitely.
We've done so well.
Get yourself signed up because the response has been absolutely amazing. You guys have been absolutely amazing.
I mean, the UK have been amazing, and we've got some really generous from America who have joined in with our wee sort of thing, which I'm over the moon for. Yeah. And thank the Americans and anybody else around the world. There's Norwegians, there's other people that have entered into. You can't just donate money. There's a fund as well.
Damn those Norwegians! They get in everywhere. They're nearly as bad as the Dutch.
Oh, yeah. Next you'll be on about the Greeks because Spiros is in there somewhere as well.
They're used to getting down to get in the igloos. They can get in anywhere.
There's also plenty of Randy coins left. So if anybody wants the Randy coins, you can contact Slipjoint Sawyer. They are still available. They are £5 for 2 coins. There's a crowdfund that is still going. I think we've just broke the $4,000 raised total so far,
which is incredible.
So we are smashing it.
One's every effing day, mate, and the other one is I hope you shit yourself. So there we go. Them little coins, £5 for both of them delivered. Can't get better than that. Can't get better than that. And I think TK is doing them in the States as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is.
If you want to donate or whatever, go to TK in the States and he'll take your money and he'll take your
your credit card details and you'll never see him again. No,
he'll be with Justin in Switzerland.
Now, Blade Lord, is Justin going to have a real pot of gold? Nobody gets my pot of gold. Blade Lord, you should know that.
This is why we are selling knives, to get him a pot of gold, because he lost the last one on the horses.
Pot of gold bigger, Mikey.
Oh, you said it's a pot of gold. I thought you said potty. I bought a bloody training potty.
But he probably needs that anyway after Sharp Show.
I just didn't listen.
I can go anywhere and get this kind of abuse,
Yeah, but you couldn't get a Paddy and Pals knife.
Exactly, and we've got the razzle dazzle.
So that is knife news for this week.
Nailed it.
We don't need technology. So somebody else talk. My lips are tired.
We're 23 minutes into it and I'm exhausted.
I showed a knife and I'm the only one.
Well done, Mike. Well done. Well, I can show a knife and should have been on knife news, but there you go. There's my latest acquisition this week.
Is that a Spyderco Manix 2 in S110V in the lovely purple?
It is, Mikey. You know your Spideys.
No.
However, just for reference, this is a beautiful Spyderco as opposed to a buck ugly one. Okay.
Absolutely. I don't know what you mean. I've never owned a buck ugly Spyderco in my life.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't. You're thinking of a Lansky or a Boca Worldwide Legal.
It's the Spyderco Lansky. That's what I'm talking about.
The Spider Lanks.
Right, boys. Can't just pay attention to the script.
And he's never backward about reminding
us. Thank you, Matt, for the sensibility brought to this show.
But there's no need to shout.
Yeah, keep a noise down, big lad. So we're going to talk about Spydercos, and Spyderco they've been getting a really rough time.
We're not talking about Spyderco.
Yeah, we're not talking about Spydercos. Yeah, Matt, shut up, Matt. You put me
I'm done. I'll see you later.
Excellent stage left.
We're talking about case knives. We're talking about case knives that, have been getting a bit of bad rap, which, to be honest with you, they deserved. But what script?
Yeah, exactly.
So we only sorted this out about 5 minutes before the show.
Case knives.
Case knives. And we've got a few different ones here that we'd just like to talk through. If you've got case knives, what's your favorite? Have you got a big collection? Let us know in the and what have you thought about they've got a lot of hard times because of their fit and finish. Do you agree with what they got? And are you starting to see any sort of a revival? Because I kind of am. I bought a couple of new ones. Yeah, I bought a couple of new ones again. and it'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
And not from anybody that knows me or.
Shall we start from that? Because Case always get a bad rap because everybody knows about quality control issues and everything. So let's start with the good stuff.
Yeah.
What is it that's good about Case? And I'm going to go to our friend Mikey over there. Give my vocal cords, yeah. Mikey, because I know you're a bugger for a Case. You love a Case.
Yeah, but only recently. Only since Sharp Show 23. Have you got a blocked drain there?
No, I'm doing my vocal cords. Okay. Singing at the end, remember? I
have to watch this. It's not pleasant.
Oh,
not pleasant just hearing it.
Mikey, sorry, go.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Well, I'm reasonably new to the whole world of case knives. Sharp Show 23 was where I picked up my first 3. And now I'm heavily into case knives, especially the old Sodbuster, which is probably my favourite pattern.
And I cannot approve more highly than I do already of the Sodbuster. So, I mean, what is it about them that you like? Or
I like
about them. I mean, what's so special about them in the first place?
They do such a large range of patterns. They do some lovely bone and the jig bone and the saw cut bone and the barn ball bone. There's just so much, and the shields and the bolsters and they're just a wonderful knife. They really are. They really feel like a really good old style knife.
And that's it as well. It's that old style. It's that history that's associated with Case itself, isn't it?
When you get a good one.
Well, let's keep it positive. Let's come back because we're inevitably going to come to that. But I mean, the history that's behind them, because Case is probably one of the oldest sort of existing current manufacturers of American knives in America at the minute, isn't it?
And they make a lot of knives. They're owned by the Zippo Corporation, I believe. And so you've got 2 big American names there, which is wonderful that they're still around and they're still making traditional knives. They make a few fixed blades. I don't know. There's just a history to them that that people that own them, their dads may have owned them, and their granddads may have owned them. They've just been around for like such a long time, and they make all kinds of wonderful patterns. Really do.
Yeah, they started about 1890 when Case started making knives. So the history is there. It's not, it's not like an old Sheffield knife, but the history is there. I mean, it's over 100 years.
Yeah. Well, for the United States, that's
it is big history. Yeah, it is really big history. Yeah. So I mean, and they've been going, and it's been the same family that has owned the bloody thing,
all the way through.
Well, not all the way through. I can't even remember when it changed, but it was, a family-run thing that's up. I think the big conglomerates have got it now, but it's America. If you think of a knife, you think Case.
Yeah,
it's the first one that comes to my head.
Yeah,
a traditional knife.
No, it's very, very true. And I mean, if you're going to talk about American traditional pattern knives, Case has got a feature there. Oh. Mikey, give us what have you got to show us in terms of what would you consider?
I mentioned the Sodbuster, especially like the Junior. I've got a couple here to show, so I'm going to show this one because it's the yellow Delrin for Randy because he loves a bit of yellow Delrin. But my latest one is this little beauty here.
Oh, look at that! That is gorgeous. Is that orange bone?
It is indeed, yeah.
Is the color persimmon? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
beautiful.
That's the one. This is one I picked up from Moonraker a couple of weeks ago. Fit and finish on it is amazing. It's centered. There's no gapping on it. It's a really lovely knife. Nice action on it. It even came reasonably sharp. Not brilliantly sharp, but usable.
Yeah. And I mean, did you get that one in Sharp Show as well, Mikey?
No, this is one that I picked up from Moonraker. I didn't get a Sodbuster until after Sharp Show.
I really like that one. Look at that one.
Hold that one up. It goes brilliantly, actually.
Doesn't it?
It's the same series.
Well, no,
hold it up there.
Oh, right. This is Justin's offering for a small sodbuster.
And I got that one at Sharp Show, and it was one of my first case knives as well.
Is this in
It was
CV?
my
Oh, okay.
second case knife. Yeah,
It's CV, it is,
I
isn't it?
think it is.
And yeah, it is. Yeah, it has to be.
So this is one of the ones I got in Robert Cutting stall, and it sort of feverishly looking. I think Matt found that for me.
I think he did.
It's the bone is delicious, and you'll see another bone very like this on another case model soon. That is a delicious bone.
But I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the case saw buster is just a gorgeous knife.
It's just a legendary now, isn't it? It's just a legendary knife now. It's a really old pattern from Europe, but they took it and they ran with it, and they do make a smashing little knife. This is one that TK got me. This is the peanut butter jelly one.
Yeah, I didn't get that color, I have to say.
But I didn't get the description. I mean, what the hell? Peanut butter and jelly is blue. It's
And purple. But I mean, the jigging is amazing on them, and it's nice to have.
The jigging's amazing.
Yeah.
The fit and finish again is amazing. There's no gapping. This has got an even stronger action. And I still feel they're quite reasonably priced for like the standard bone models. If they're not a special edition and that, they're still like a nice price. This one was 52, I think, £52.
Let's be honest, in this day and age, for me anyway, that's a budget knife.
Yeah.
It's a budget price knife, but it's the top end of the budget, and you're getting the top end of the budget knife.
Another one that like TK got me is the Kentucky Bluegrass.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
That is lovely.
Yeah, I like that.
And again, fantastic fit and finish, nice action on it.
But
really nice action on it.
If you compare the Delrin one to the jig bone one, Mikey, I love the jig bone one simply because it's so slim. The Delrin one for practical use, it's a really good fit in your hand. I get that. But
much wider.
The slimness and pocket of the jig bone Sodbuster Junior is just outstanding.
I mean, that is an EDC.
It disappears.
And the Delrin are usually what you're going to use for a work knife.
Exactly so.
And that's lovely that they do the two. There's not many companies do that.
That's very true.
And a gentleman's knife as well, because it's so slim, it could just go in your top pocket, or it's just a lovely little knife.
It's a pattern that's been about for hundreds of years. I mean, it started off as a farmhand's knife in Germany or France or somewhere along there. Somebody had that pattern. It wasn't called the Sodbuster, but that work knife. It was a work knife pattern.
It's a farmer's knife or a land worker's knife, or it's just like a really old pattern that has stood the test of time.
And that's the same with all work tools. The simple but well made, easy to maintain. It has got it all in the Sodbuster. It's a simple pattern. It's not hard to make. There's no complications with it. You can sharpen it really easily. They haven't gone in for the modern blades because there's no need to. Their stainless steel and their carbon are both good in their own right. You get their polish is amazing.
Mikey, where'd you go?
Oh,
you went somewhere there for a second.
Oh, so their fit and finish. It can be a problem, but
we're not talking about
that
yet.
On the whole,
positives.
Positives.
Yeah.
In terms of patterns, range of patterns, as Mikey said, the range of materials that they use in terms of whether it's Delrin and the whole list of multicolored plastics that they use, or the bone, or they're doing wood.
They're doing they're doing micarta now.
Micarta as well. Yeah. So I mean, there's some.
And they've done wood in the past. I don't know if they've done any recently.
Stag as well. They've done
their stag is fantastic. And their imitation stag. Funny enough, this is my first one I'm going to show. This is their bone stag 6.5, which I think is just. I got this. It's a mini trapper. I have fallen in love with this knife, and I've never even been a trapper lover. But this year,
I like a trapper.
I've gone. You couldn't put me on the other side. I can't. I'm sort of. I feel as if I'm going in front of Mikey, but I'm not actually on it. Oh, that's better. There you go. So I got this year off. I believe I got this off Matt, and it's got the worn clip instead of the spay, and it's got that long Turkish clip, California clip, whatever you want to call it. But what two fantastic blades for an EDC knife. And in my days, any of my days, having two blades like this, I'm not going to go home with a dull knife. One of them is still going to be sharp enough because I can stop them anywhere. I can sharpen them on a glass window. I can sharpen them on a cup. That's what's so good about a working knife, is it's so easy to sharpen and so easy to bring it back. But this is bone stag. It's delicious. I really genuinely love it. Just beautiful. So yeah, the materials are endless, it seems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'll give you a good example of that in a second.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's in S35 VN.
Oh, is that the Mike Carter Sodbuster?
Yeah, I'm going to show. I'll bring it up here.
Oh,
They are now doing S35 steel. Yeah.
I mean, that is just fantastic. You know, it's like every other knife. You don't need S35 VN, but it's nice to have it.
But if it's there, why don't you try it?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong, but you don't need it, but it is. And I'm a guilty. I like to have. I wish they would do more of their ATS 34. But isn't that beautiful?
Look at that.
That blade looks like it's tumbled, and
it does actually. Yeah, you're quite
tumbled.
Right. Yeah.
It's beautiful, and it's screwed together.
Do you know how much that is?
No,
$85.
Yep, they're $85 for the S35 Sodbusters, and there's about 5 or 6 of them.
that is flipping. Why have I not seen that?
There's one with a wood handle. I mean, so they really upped their game lately. And
that is fantastic, and that's sort of a knife.
Yeah, it is just.
I will buy one of them at the end of this month.
Yeah, I mean, it's
From where?
Positives. I think that's a good positive message to go out there. Definitely.
Do they not have them over here yet? Then no.
Not yet. No, not yet.
I'm sure they'll come.
I'll speak to Slippy.
Yeah, definitely. So it's, yeah. I mean, I don't have many, and some of the guys were saying, I think it was Paul Tiffany was saying it just before we came on air, that he's just joining for the crack because he doesn't really have a big collection of case knives. I've only got 5. I have 5.
Yeah, it's not. We're not here to see how many you've got. That's not the deal. It's just talking about a brand, and that's what we want to do more of. Just stick to one brand, and we can all talk about it and chip in. If you have one, if you have none, it doesn't matter. Just get in, because if this gives you an idea of what you can get or what you want to look for, that's this job done. It's for the few rather than the many.
And I know we talk about Rough Rider and Rosecraft and other ones about in terms of, you know, if you want to experiment with patterns. But honestly, case knives are going to give you, they might get a wee bit spenny towards the other end of the scale. But there are so many, especially on the secondary market, there's so many options to buy a case knife to give you an introduction to a real classic pattern.
Yeah,
especially like the Dale rings on the used market. You can literally get them for like 25 quid. It's
but even if you want to buy new, between sort of 50, whatever it is for the Delrin, it only for the largest part of the range only goes to about 85, maybe 95. So you've got from sort of 55 to 90 pounds
from 38, I think.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, you can go from low up if you want to spend a wee bit more. Like if you bought one of the cheaper end, the Delrin, to get the bone fancy piece, it's only going to cost you 20, 30 quid more, and you've still got 2 good knives. You don't have to get rid of one.
But it's that experimentation. That's what appeals to me about case knives. So it's that I wanted a sod buster. I wanted a full size sod buster, and I thought, well, if you're going to go for a sod buster, you need to have a case sod buster,
or even a Stockman.
Yes, I got him. I've been infected by his nibs here.
Oh, dear.
Memory boy.
Can't even remember the right names, but this is a cracking one. I mean, I've got a medium-sized Stockman, and I've got this, the large Stockman, and it's just a monster in hand. It really is, but it's such a beautifully put together knife.
Do you know what would be nice to go along with that? Because I see you've got other. You know, that pattern, a sod buster in that pattern. You can get the sod buster in that.
Oh, in the same bone.
Yeah.
And so it would actually have the trio.
Yeah, you can have the
I've also got another one over here in the same kind of is that stag actually, or is it bone?
No, it's bone. That's jig bone. That's
jig bone.
I'll show you
So, and it's an absolutely beautiful one. Now, I can't remember where I got this. in my head, it's either Congi or Matt. I can't remember who I got it off. And so forgive me for if either of you are in the chat and telling me. But it is a monster big knife. But as a collector, that is a Stockman.
Yeah, it is.
It is the Stockman pattern.
Yeah, quintessential.
It's beautifully put.
I thought so myself.
Yeah, you're a poet,
young man.
You're a poet. He's an idiot, but he's a poet. Yeah. I just love that one.
It surprised me when you got that, but then you have to think of it. It's a collector's piece.
That's it exactly, because I don't carry Stockman.
No, you never pretend to do that. You never pretend to do hard work. You love collecting a knife. Yeah. And once I take the other things out of my head, because I don't use knives that much either. No. But
as an example,
that is beautiful. And it's like I have a large hand, and I can't get all that inside my big mitt. But it's just a beautiful big knife. And if you were to work, you have 3 blades there. Like even if you're going on a hike, there's 3 sharpened blades to get you through whatever's going to come across in that hike.
And I mean, that speaks to Don C's. Wondering about that.
How
is a large Stockman in hand?
Right. With all 3 blades in there, I don't feel anything. When I've got a large hand, all 3 blades in. When I take the main clip point out, you're going to have the biggest hump that's there. And when I hold this in my hand, literally I can move my hand about so that it's not annoying me. I could quite happily work there. That's me in a comfortable spot. And once you know your knife, and another great thing about knives, even if you don't do hard use, get them in your hand and hold them and find out where you feel comfortable to do any job. I mean, I can move my hands around in different positions. That's probably one of my most comfortable positions in this knife, and I can cut. But yeah, so absolutely fine.
It's a cracking knife.
I've really come around to like the Stockmans. I really do like a Stockman now.
I have got a couple of Stockmans, but I don't have a large one, and I think it's something that I'm going to have to get myself, to be honest with you.
I mean, to give you a comparison, that's my other Stockman, the medium Stockman, and it's quite significantly smaller.
And I mean, that's a great EDC knife.
Yeah, this is a perfect EDC knife.
3 blades.
Case do a tiny Stockman as well, a tiny little 5th pocket Stockman.
They do as well, and I mean, so what I would say, I mean, as Stephen was saying, if you're the generously physiqued man or built man or woman, the large Stockman will do you proud. It's too big for me, which comes as no surprise to anybody.
No, but it's a lot of people that would be too big to carry.
And there's a good bit of weight to this. This is the way when we're talking about Ashley's or some of the older traditional types, traditional Sheffield knives, the brass liners and the springs and everything, stainless steel springs and everything add considerable weight to this. So with the 3 blades and the jig bone, you know that you're carrying a substantial knife.
And that's the thing about it. It's not the sort of knife that you would carry on a pair of flannels.
No.
It's for putting in your jeans.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, absolutely.
So
that wouldn't put me off using it.
No, but I mean, I would carry that in a pair of jeans rather than a pair of
around the pajamas. Yeah. It's not pajama wear.
No.
Or carry. But there you go. So
amber jig bone. You're right, pens and blades. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple of bits of amber jig bone.
There's another one that I've got. This is the amber jig bone sodbuster.
I've got that as well. Yeah, it's lovely.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful jigging on this one, and I managed to get one that's very full. Sometimes you get larger clear spots at top and bottom, but this is just, and this was a gift from Gizmo. Thank you very much, Gizmo. I still love this knife. This is in CV, and this is the other thing that I think is worth talking about.
Actually, yes, it is. Mikey, I want to get your thoughts on this as well.
Yeah, CV, stainless steel. That's the 2 choices you have on most.
Well, it's not just stainless steel. It's their stainless steel.
It is, because nobody really knows what it is.
What is it? Stay Sharp or something? Or Sharp? What is it called, Mikey?
Oh, I can't remember what they call it.
I think it is something like that. Stay Sharp, stainless steel or something.
Yeah,
but what's the difference between cutting a knife?
True Sharp. There it is.
True Sharp. Yeah. What's the difference between using stainless steel and the CV?
The carbon, yeah.
Which do you prefer? And is there a reason why you prefer it? And let's see if we can dispel some of the reasons.
Well, can I start?
Yes, please.
I've actually thought about this.
That's great for your age to have a thought.
Can I? What am I, Mikey, in terms of steel?
Slightly snobby.
Yeah. I'm a steel snob. I have absolutely no justification or basis for being a steel snob because I don't use
you want to be.
It's just because I want to be. So I like my fancy steels. And here's the thing: if I can get, and this is the irony, because I think the Sawbuster is probably the only one with CV on it and with carbon steel on it. If I could, I would get the carbon steel every time.
So would I.
And it's just because I have a weird prejudice against the true sharp steel because I don't know what it is.
Right.
And that's just me. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just strange. And I'm sure it's a perfectly good steel.
Well, this is what I was going to say. There was a few years back, Pete from Cedric and Ada bought 2 of them of his own money, a case in True Sharp and the case in CV, and he done a rope cut test with them. And he done as usual where he does it factory edge, and then he done the sharpened edge. And they were within 5%, which is illegal, of cutting. So one really doesn't cut that much more than the other. But a lot of people will tell you that the carbon steel will cut more. I don't believe that. I do believe that you get a sharper edge on the carbon. Now, that's just my opinion. I believe the edge is crisper, sharper. It'll not hold it as long as the stainless steel because it isn't starting off from that very, very thin edge. So, but Pete tested them and it was within a 5% discrepancy. So
virtually no difference.
No difference.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just showing this for Benny because he said that does anybody have a rust lock to show? I know Stephen's got one as well.
Yep, I got one, and this is another gift from one of my subscribers who I thank very much. But the blue bone on this one, your bone is gorgeous. Look at that in the big case. This is the blue bone. I just adore that. Jigging is world class. Even if you're
some of the best.
When they do it right, and don't leave the big white gaps all over it, which I despise. But when they get jigging right, either one of these 2 are examples that are of the highest class. For anybody, never mind that, a custom maker would be proud to have that on his knife. It's that good to me. It's that good.
Yeah.
Because I've got customs, and yeah.
Oh, I know. I would agree, and I honestly think that one of the main attractions of the case range is the beautiful handle material.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we'll be getting on to the negatives about it, but for me, the range of colors, the range of patterns, the range of it's just
choice.
Lovely.
It's choice,
really is.
and that's choice. What a customer.
Some of them you like, some of them you don't.
Absolutely. I mean, I would have thought I didn't like this when I got it.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah, I know, because you got it in hand again.
Got it in hand, and that's it. Got it in hand, and you can buy that in the yellow Delrin as well, which is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and then if you like it, you can buy a fancy one to keep in your drawer and have your yellow Delrin to use.
Okay. Great night.
I think we've got another contribution.
Gorgeous, Paddy. Yeah, that's one for my podcast.
Definitely. What was I going to say? Okay.
I
would say something there. Oh, I've gone.
What's your favorite and why, Mikey? And the
steel? I like the carbon steel. It's just an old pocket knife steel to me that I can sharpen. I'm really comfortable using it. I know exactly what it's going to do. I know how to sharpen it to a really nice edge. It gets razor sharp. I love the way that over time it starts to change color as well.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of comments in the chat about the way the patina it tends to add a little bit of character to it.
It just.
Do you know?
I have no idea.
Do you know Brendan Blade's name?
Jonathan.
Yeah. Will it sharpen up easier? I believe it does. It sharpens easier, I think so, than the stainless steel. Stainless steel is not hard to sharpen by any means, and especially stropping. I think the carbon strops better than the stainless. You'll still get the same sharpness, but I just think the carbon. Now that could be in my head.
I think as well. You know, as you just said about the jig bone and the way that they dye it so well. When it starts to get a little bit of age, because they did the pocket worn series. I know Slippy just picked up the pocket worn Barlow. I've got the Sod Buster, but when they do start to look a little bit aged, and you get the blade out and it's got some wear on it and it just looks like a lovely old pocket knife, which is what we like to carry.
Yeah.
No, that's very true, and I would agree with that. I mean, and much as I like my fancy steels, there's something about a carbon steel knife that is just just outstanding, and you just know that you've got. And coming back to my own particular bias, I don't know what the True Sharp is. It's weird. I know it's perfectly serviceable steel, but it just gives me a weird feeling.
Yeah, it is. It makes a knife stand out for me. But the other thing about them is you can get a higher steel. Now I know they're doing that S35AN, but if you go to the more expensive range, because they also do an expensive range, and I've been sort of bougie here tonight. I've got two to show that were expensive range. Now this one's in bone, and these are Tony Bowes specials that he only done once a year. And he went with the head cutlers, and he helped them bring his pattern to life. Tony Bowes, if you don't know him, was the godfather. He's just recently passed away, but he was the godfather of custom knife makers, and he brought back patterns from years gone by, and brought them to Case and got them to do the patterns. He had two different styles. He had a one that was more expensive, but in the normal steel, and then he done a higher end one, which was should be much better fit and finish, and it's got ATS 34, which is another lovely steel, and that's what this is. And this is a dog leg. You can see the dog leg.
Look at that spear.
That spear is just, I mean, this is where I started to get my big fat spear thing from.
And that's it.
It's just beautiful. I love the swedge on it. It's like a big beak of a
it is
a bird of
it looks prehistoric, really.
But it's such a beautifully made knife. The walk and talk, the fit and finish is just phenomenal on it. A stunning knife. Again, this is just jig bone, but look how delicious it looks. And it's got that extra polish than what some of the. But I mean, these when they're at sale at Sharp Show every year, I think they were about 300 odd pounds. So this is not cheap.
Yeah, but they're collector's items.
Oh, very much so. And this is the other thing. Case in America, because they're so old, are the biggest collecting base that they've got in anything. Case are just, they're collectible, and there's certain patterns that I don't know or probably never will know that are just worth thousands if you can get them, because of the lack of knives that they made at that time, going back a few years. But I mean, it's just wonderful to see that an awful lot of the American channels, they're worth watching just to see what cases are out there, because you don't, until you see one, you go, oh, I've never seen that. I mean, like, there's this one here. This came up in the UK. I had no idea what it is. And tell me if you've seen another one. Look at that.
No, yeah.
That is beautiful. It's in stag. It's a beautiful, like a razor. I mean, really beautiful little knife, 3-finger knife. But it's, tell me the last time you've seen one of these. I think I've seen one other one. But I don't know whether it's worth 10p or it's worth, 20 quid or 200 quid. No idea. But it's not
20p, and I'll send that to your PayPal.
Right this instant.
But I mean, and it's in perfect working order. So nobody has used it.
It's a crack, and
it's
very unusual.
It's a bit bigger than a peanut.
I remember when Stephen bought that, he thought it was like going to be about 3 feet long.
Yeah, it was one of my buys as I did at night time, and I don't check the sizes.
It was at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Unlike my small cleaver that I thought was small, and it turned out to be 16 foot long.
Yeah, you go the other way, Mikey. So, Mikey, again, what have you got? What else have you got for us? Because we'll spend another minute just on the positives, and then we have to discuss the elephant in the room here. My Case mini copper lock in smooth bone. Oh, that is lovely.
Beautiful.
Going to bring you up here, Mikey, for full size. There you go.
This was one of my Sharp Show finds from 23.
Look at that. Smooth just bone is gorgeous.
That is the nicest clip point that Case do in my eyes.
That as a little copper lock, as a just a small locking knife. I mean, I think I tend to try to carry this with a buck 110. So I've got a small locker and a big locker, and but they've done the smooth bone. It's like the dyeing on it again is phenomenal. There's no sort of blank spots on it. Nice and rich around the shield. But again, like your fingers just fit on that blade. Four fingers. It's just a cracking little knife. It's one of my favourites.
This is one for Randy. This is the Delrin mini copperhead lock, I should say.
The yellow Delrin.
The yellow Delrin copper lock.
Copper lock seems to be quite a favourite amongst all of us, actually.
For me, it's the clip point. I just think the swedge on that is
it is a lovely blade on it.
Such a practical little knife.
Really is a great EDC knife.
Yeah, because it's a locker. And again, I'm sorry, but GEC, learn how to make a flicking backlock knife, would you? There's not a bit of play in this. Any play in yours?
No, mine's perfect.
Beautifully made wee knife. I mean, mine's
centering is perfect.
Yeah, and I got this from Sharp Show as well, and I just thought it was a cracking wee knife. It was one of those. I think it was one of those dead cheap ones in Robert Cutting's box. Mine's a wee bit off center, but it's a lockback. I mean, the centering isn't that important in terms of this brand. But they're beautiful little knives. They really are.
Highly recommend these. Highly recommend them.
Yeah. I have to say that was my first one. I've got two now. I've got the large one as well. No, I've got the copperhead, which is a non-locking version, and you can get that small one in a non-locking version too.
Copperhead.
Yeah, beautiful.
In that lovely, lovely dark red, and it's got an amazing little pen blade, but this is what does it for me on this one. I do like a Warney.
Oh, look at that! That's lovely.
I do like a Warncliffe blade, and with that lovely red jig bone handle, nice shield.
The jigging is beautiful.
Again, it's a nice size knife as well. It's perfect to like hold. You can get up on the blade. It's just lovely.
It's a gorgeous knife, huh?
Well, I'll show my last one, and then we can just talk. And I want to show this because this is my pride case. This is another one.
Somebody was asking what year was that, Tony Bose?
It was 2012. There you go. 2012, and this one was the Millennium. This was the 2000 one. And this is just my.
Is it a trapper?
It's a. Where's the bloody thing? Oh, there it is. Couldn't see it. It's a. It's a trapper.
Oh, I love it.
And it has two beautiful blades. It has a drop point, and you could sort of a clip.
Bring it right up to the middle.
Oh, you could call it a clip or it's probably a clip. And then look at that for a skinning blade. Is that not just beautiful? The swedges on these are right to the back, which just gives another dimension. Beautiful work.
Even Matt Sawyer, who doesn't like trappers because of the spade blades, has gotta love that one.
I mean, that is good. And look at the shield on this, and the jigging on this is just unbelievable. Fit and finish, beautiful.
Is that a sort of dark, deep cherry color on that?
No, I would say it's more of a real deep red, maroon even.
Yeah.
But
winey color.
I've just slapped them straight down, and they're both right up the center. Just you can confirm that.
Oh yes.
Right up the center. It's just stunning, and absolutely stunningly finished, well-made knife. My best case. It's much better than this.
Yeah.
Because there's a slight little imperfection in this. The liners are a little bit raised. Not going to affect the knife at all. But this one is just perfect in every way. Perfect. So yeah.
So I mean, we talked about our experiences, our good experiences with case, and I mean, 90% of the time we've had a good experience. But I think Father EDC says it is that if you want to have a good experience with case, perfect. You need to see it in person before you buy it.
Absolutely agree. Or buy it from somebody you trust.
Yes,
because that's what I bought most of mine from, is people that I trust.
So why? What is it they do that you need to see it first, or you need to have a trustworthy supplier? Mikey, you got something to say there.
What do they do? It's not what they do; it's what they don't do. They don't seem to check the knives coming out the shop, do they? Straight out the factory, there's some knives, and I've seen them, and there could be some terrible gaps. You could fit like a sandwich in it. Some of the blades rub really, really badly. It's just that they can make such a lovely knife, yet they will still send some real poor knives out, which does the brand no good. And they've got a lot of stick for it. I'd say in the past 3 or 4 years, there's been some real case hate going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's really damaged the reputation, and when a little bit of care could have prevented it all.
Yeah.
Here's my opinion on that, right? Which is quite weird, I suppose. But Case are big.
Mm-hmm.
They make millions of knives, and that's not an understatement. They make millions of knives. They are not run by a company that are knife orientated.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
They have a huge executive board who are wanting paid before anything else. They get quantity out there in nearly every knife outlet in America and nearly everyone in the UK even, but round the world, Case are just everywhere. Everybody wants Case, and they just get quantity out. They don't make the time to do their checks properly because they're just doing too many knives. And I think I'm not saying that's a reason, but I'm saying I don't think they care because it's coming in, and they've got loyal. There's people who could get 10 in a row with faults on them and still keep them and use them because they've always done it. They've done it from a wee boy to now. And if they get one that's a bit off, well, so what? The next one will be all right. But they'll use that one to a nub, then get another one. Oh, and I think that's the following that Case have that not many knife companies get.
Yeah, because I'm not sure, because an awful lot of their marketing is aimed at collectors, not just users. Okay, so an awful lot of their, what do they call it, the Vault series and everything like that, isn't it, Mikey, and things like that?
Or they just bring the pattern back, and then if it's not.
They can do it with the Tony Bowes, can't they? The Tony Bowes knives tend to be fantastic.
Yeah, they are. But I was just saying there's one of mine. Now everything else about it's perfect. Now, this is the high end expensive. This is the high end one at £300 odd when it came out, and the liners are just a little bit proud. For that price of a knife, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of doing that on a belt.
Yeah,
exactly. But they didn't do it.
Mikey,
that is my Tony Bowes. It's the back pocket, and it's perfect. Yeah. It's a perfect knife. They've done everything on it perfectly.
Yeah.
So they can do it.
Thing that they can, and there's a couple of people. Gadget Gus has said it, and Pens and Blades has said it, and it's exactly what I was thinking as well. Stephen's point about mass production. Victorinox can do it. You show me a Victorinox, a Swiss Army knife with a flaw in it. It's you would be hard pressed to find a Victorinox with a flaw in it, and yet Case have been getting slammed because it's not just the occasional knife. It's quite a lot, and it's becoming a common point of the experience of Case knives with the buyers.
But here's the thing. That's going back to my point. Exactly it. Victorinox
care.
They have the same. It's been passed on from generation to generation.
Yeah.
They care.
Yeah, they love their product.
Yes. Now Case love their product too, but to get the quantity out, to get the money in, to feed the fat cats before the factory gets paid, they just don't have the time to do that.
Yeah, or
they.
It's not that they don't have the time. They don't care. I don't think they care.
I think it's because a lot of the Case buyers are not that bothered. They just want the knife that's going to cut.
Yeah.
They just want to cut things, and I can get that, because they're not expensive.
No.
I would say that perhaps the Case buyers are a little bit that way now because there's been so much uproar about it as well.
Well, anytime you bring it up, the Case lovers come back in on you and say, "Yeah, but it cuts."
Well, obviously not. Yeah, because we've got some Case lovers in here who are still.
But recently, I've bought 2 or 3 5 brand new Case knives that have been in the last 6 or 7 months, and they've been fantastic. They've actually been really good.
Let's bring it back around again.
I got the same one exactly.
You mentioned it earlier as well. Are they turning it around? Do we need to cut them a wee bit of slack?
I hope so, because I've started buying them again.
Yeah,
and I bought them.
I hope so.
And this one is a cracker. Show that one up again, Mikey. Talk us through that one. That's a beauty.
So this was the one that was that came into Moonraker.
Yeah.
Me and Slippy and Stephen bought one. I think they've sold out again.
It's a single-bladed Barlow. I don't know why they don't make more of them, because it's what people want.
Yeah.
It's my first case Barlow. It's a single-bladed Barlow because I do prefer the single blade, and it's got a lovely walk and talk on it.
Yeah, everything about it's lovely.
Like it's great half stop. There's no movement in it. The fit and finish is fantastic. The dyeing is, I mean, green might not be to everyone's taste, but it's done really, really well. And is this the barn ball jig?
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely stunning jigging again.
Is that in the True Sharp, Mikey, or is it in the CV?
True Sharp.
True Sharp. The only problem, and this is where I feel this is where the corporation takes over from the heart, is they took away the tang stamp.
Really?
It's etched now.
Everything's etched on all of my new cases that are absolutely wonderful. The only thing that's let them down is that if they don't have like the tang stamp. And the laser etch, I know why they've done it. They've done it because they're a corporation and they're saving money. Otherwise, that's the only reason why.
For us, three of us, that was the one thing we wanted on our knife, to get a stamp and get a proper stamp done on the proper machine that actually will do one by one.
A traditional pocket knife, whether it be on the blade or the bolster, I want a stamp. I don't want an etch. I want it stamped.
Yeah.
You know, I want it nice and deep and done by hand, or, you know, it's just.
Honestly, it was really frustrating, because they managed to claw it back and then they give away the ball game at the last minute with something like that.
But I mean, don't forget, we are a very small part of the collecting world out there. We're pernickety. We want the exact things. The most people that buy knives are not like us. They're not looking to see whether there's a bit of blade rub. They're not looking. They're just buying a knife to cut things.
You know, but most people aren't buying the fancy schmancy green barn board.
That's basic price Barlow. That's a basic price Barlow.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What were these? What were they? Were they 50 something, 59 or 60? I don't know.
Or something. But the other thing is, they were going to put Barlows back in the vault. Why would you put a Barlow back in the vault? It's got to be the most.
You make traditional knives, don't you?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, and they don't do enough of the single bladed Barlows in CV.
Yeah, and that, Tim, is a tragedy. That's an indictment of the whole thing. You haven't bought one since 1988. Although I think that means that you need to get out more. But yeah, I mean, there's no denying it. But it would be nice to see a resurgence of some of the, and if they, if they catered a wee bit more to that, even if they did special editions with the stamp instead of the etching. No, you know what? I would like them to use more carbon steel and bring back the stamp.
I think
that would be.
But here's the question: is, does carbon steel sell better for them, or do people like the stainless steel?
That's probably why not.
Exactly. We are a small part that we like the traditional things,
which it brings back to some of the comments and yours as well. I mean, it is what is going to make the most profit for the corporation.
Exactly.
I mean, this is a corporately driven.
Absolutely driven by corporate. They're in a steel facility.
These are traditional knives. They're traditional pattern knives, aren't they?
Yeah.
But it is funny though, because I think you can flip that to the Victorinox example as well, because Victorinox do exactly the same thing. They refuse to change the patterns that they sell. They refuse to develop new tools, and they refuse to add new steels because they know they're onto a winning formula.
Yeah, because people want to buy out different patterns because they can't get what they want in one pattern.
Exactly so. So it's a very similar set of principles. And profit is driving it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, there's Victorinox are culling so many patterns this last couple of years. They've culled Victorinox.
Yeah, they've really made the range smaller, but it's going to make them more profit. I bet.
That's it.
This is one that I've got to show. And although this isn't my favourite pattern, this is my most loved case.
Really?
This is my wee peanut that was given to me by Randy's WSG.
Oh, look at that. I think that's a wonderful one to end on, Mikey. That is fantastic.
It is a perfect knife. It has lovely fit and finish. The dyeing on it is perfect. The jigging is amazing. the action and the snap on it is phenomenal. This was a gift from like Randy. Randy meant like the world to me. This knife means like the world to me. We're still selling tickets now for the Randy's raffle. There's 20 knives on there to be won. It's a £10 or $13 to like enter. Please go and do it. It would mean like the world to us. But this knife, this is my forever case.
And it would have been Randy's birthday tomorrow. So
it would have been.
If you are in contact
well,
with
it would be. It is Randy's birthday, yeah.
Even if you're not, why not go on the Instagram and just put a wee happy birthday, Randy, on there?
Yeah, that would be a lovely wee touch. Folks, we're an hour and 10 minutes in. We've had a lovely time talking about any number of other things, and we've had a great ramp through.
Really, yeah.
We've courted a little bit of controversy. We have philosophized and given any number of mindless opinions, and we have hopefully entertained you for an hour or so.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, we've had a ball as
the
always.
Excitement for me is having our club knife, and it's going to make. I've got so many ideas for a club. Things are going to change in the club wise.
I'm going to have to increase his meditation. I really am.
I want to do stupid things in the club that will make people laugh.
He's already mentioned a few.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is fantastic that we've got a fire lit under it at last, and I think it's going to be a real milestone.
It really is for me and you two as well. I mean, it's so early as a threesome together to get this. Taking me years to work up to it, but I mean, we're early as a team, and we're getting a knife.
Yeah,
named after us, and that's beautiful.
This knife is something very, very special. I had no idea we were ever going to get to this stage. When I was first asked to join like the podcast, that was a big thing for me. This is like another level to like have a knife coming out from a Sheffield manufacturer that is handmade. It's
at
amazing.
45 with our own stamp.
Yeah. Well, that's just like the cherry on the top, isn't it? So like to have our own stamp on it as well.
Really is.
Something to look forward to, and something for all of you guys in the chat to look forward to. Thanks for joining us tonight. We will be back next week with more news.
Yes, and somebody just put up there they're looking forward to next year's knife. You don't have to wait. If it all goes well, we'll be doing one every 4 months, 3 a year. That's if it all goes well, because
that's if you buy them. That's if you buy them.
If we buy them, we'll do one every 4 months.
Otherwise, we're going to end up with hundreds of knives.
And we're not.
That's not a bad thing, though, is it?
Where's the downside of it?
I don't do multiples.
No, I do. Have you seen my Jonesy collection? Could I just add as well? I just like to put a big shout out to Blade in Wales, Tony. He lost his wee best mate this week. His pet dog Scooby passed away.
Tony.
It's been a really tough time for him, and I'd just like to say that we're all like thinking of him, and we are really, really sorry that he's lost Scoob.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bless you, Tony.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Sorry, that is a difficult one to get over. It doesn't happen overnight. So
No.
I really do. That's a hard one. But the other thing I want to say before I go is, I would just like to thank Slippy and all those around Slippy. And I'm saying his name because he's sort of been in the frame, and he offers to do so many things for Randy, for even the community, for the sanitarium. And I just think he needs a big thank you, because he really has become an integral part of the group.
Slippy is part of the team there. He set up like the Discord. He brought us all together. He helps out on all the channels. He's a lovely guy. He sends knives out. He's done all this stuff with a TK to help raise money for like Randy's mum Joy.
Elan as well. I don't want to miss anybody out, but
Orlando's been fantastic. He's been our point of contact for like Randy's family. He's the most thoughtful guy in the world. We've just got a lovely team of like people here, and we are all friends.
And before it goes completely overboard, let's just remember that every team needs a dick, and Slippy fulfills that function well and truly. So he does.
Here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, keep up the good work.
May he grow in stature.
Absolutely. Well, keep recording the quotes, because honestly, there's a bestseller in that. Folks, thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much, and I can't wait to get the knife in your hands.
Buy a knife. Don't forget to buy the knife.
2nd of February, £43 in the UK.
Yeah,
buttons.
but not before you've contributed to the raffle. Let's get that past you.
Buy a ticket to win a knife. Win the knife.
Win the knife.
Or get into your piggy bank and just donate money for the hell of it, because he was
buy some coins. Buy some coinage. Do it.
Cheerio.